I'm Holly. Standing at the head of the conference table, I look around at the stunned faces of the executives. The room is deathly silent, and the only sound is the clicking of my heels on the marble floor. Barbara, the HR manager, drops her coffee cup, and it shatters on the floor, staining her designer suit. David, the vice president, stands there with his mouth open, his prepared speech forgotten. Sarah, the marketing director, loses her composure, and her perfect facade cracks. It all started 2 weeks ago when I took on an undercover mission. I come from a well-educated family. My parents are both professors, strict but open-minded, always encouraging me to think independently and strive for real change. With a Harvard MBA and a CEO appointment letter in my bag, I decided to start from the bottom as a cleaning lady to understand the company's true situation. As I pushed my cleaning cart past Barbara's office, she sneered at me, "Make sure you clean under the desks properly this time." The last cleaning lady was fired for missing spots. I adjusted my simple uniform, maintaining my persona as Lily, the new cleaning staff. The board had given me 3 months to assess the company before officially taking over as CEO, but they didn't tell me how. I knew that real change had to start from the foundation. Walking to the executive floor, I passed by Mark from accounting. He was berating a junior analyst. "This is why we keep people like you in the basement. Can't even handle basic spreadsheets." The analyst's eyes were filled with tears. I made a note on my hidden phone app. Toxic management in accounting. Immediate intervention needed. The executive floor was a symbol of corporate excess, while the lower floors were filled with flickering lights and cramped cubicles. When I entered David's office, he said, "Hey, cleaning lady, be careful with those awards on my shelf. They're worth more than you make in a year." I glanced at the awards, mostly golf tournament trophies and networking certificates. Meanwhile, my real industry awards were in a box in my apartment, waiting to be hung in this office. He also warned me not to touch the papers on his desk, claiming they were confidential. Little did he know that I had already reviewed and rejected the merger proposals in those papers during my meetings with the board. Throughout the evening, I cleaned each office and recorded every dismissive comment, arrogant display, and mismanagement. At 9 p.m., the CFO, Robert, stormed past me, shouting into his phone, "I don't care what the numbers show. Make them look better before the new CEO arrives. And get that cleaning lady out of my sight." The next morning, on the day of the board meeting, I arrived early in my cleaning uniform for a final sweep. Barbara snapped at me. "What are you still doing here? We need the cleaning staff gone before the new CEO arrives." I replied softly and headed to the conference room. On the way, I saw David rehearsing a power play speech in his office mirror. At 9:45, I went to the executive bathroom to change. In just 12 minutes, I transformed from Lily the cleaner to Holly the CEO. My phone buzzed with messages from the board chairman and my assistant, saying everyone was seated and the show was about to begin. At precisely 10 a.m., the board chairman announced my arrival. I walked into the room, and the shock on their faces was priceless. I said clearly, "I believe some of you know me as Lily. I've spent the past 2 weeks getting to know this company from the ground up. Now let's discuss what I've learned." I opened my laptop and presented the evidence of their discriminatory comments, mismanagement, and toxic culture. I announced a complete restructuring of senior management. Barbara would no longer be the head of HR, and she'd be replaced by Jane from the maintenance staff, a qualified HR professional who'd been a janitor due to discrimination. David's position as vice president was eliminated, and his responsibilities would be given to junior analysts. Sarah would move to customer service. The following days were a study in human behavior. The executives who had ignored me before now tried to curry favor. Barbara sent an apology email, David left an expensive bottle of wine on my desk, and Sarah presented a new marketing plan. But I wasn't swayed. I called an all-staff meeting. I stood at the podium and said, "Many of you knew me as Lily. Today, we'll discuss what this reveals about our company culture." I announced the restructuring, and the room was silent at first. Then, there was scattered applause from the lower-level employees. In the aftermath, resignations came in from executives who couldn't adapt. But innovation increased, productivity soared, and employee satisfaction scores rose. 1 month later, I received an email from Barbara, who was now an entry-level HR assistant, saying she understood why I did what I did. 6 months later, the company was featured in Business Week. The board chairman messaged me, "You didn't just clean house, you rebuilt it. Well done." Looking out of my office window at the open workspace, with a cleaning cart in the corner, I knew that respect is earned by character, not position. And sometimes, the best way to clean up a company is to start from the bottom.